Good evening and welcome to Collector Cars. I'm Lance, your host. One thing I can guarantee you tonight, folks, is that the boys are going to be on their best behavior.
It's the Bill and Bill show.
That's right.
It's the Bill. If you remember, the last time I introduced these two, they were playing cards over here.
No.
Go Fish is what I remember. We have with us tonight Mr. Bill Trier.
Hi, Lance. Glad to be back.
Doing, man? And Mr. Bill Mergens,
Glad to be back.
our cruising reporter. Oh, no cards this time?
No, we got dominoes. We thought we'd behave.
And now Bill is going to explain why he's going to be on his best behaviors, because Bill has some guests in the studio,
That's right.
and that would be...
We got Father John Roberts and
Okay.
his daughter Emma and his son Watson.
And Watson.
And Father John is the priest of the Episcopal Church of the Good Shepherd in Venice, and he is my priest. We made a
Bill-
deal tonight, though, that he's not going to fall asleep during my segment.
During
If-
your presentation.
If I don't fall asleep.
Although you fall asleep
Even
during
a
his.
sermon.
So
Yeah.
wait a minute. So really what you're giving tonight is a sermon?
He gets it back tonight.
Oh.
He's on the other side.
Well,
if it's good
Bill-
enough, you could give it to him for Sunday.
That's right.
Okay.
See, Bill, we'll have a long talk with Father Roberts after the show and tell him all the things that he doesn't know about Bill Trier.
Always in for a treat.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys are
Yes.
so helpful.
You
Yeah,
can
you're
see
welcome.
Bill's eyebrows go up and go, uh-oh. I tell you, it's great. Yeah, Bill called me during the week, and you had talked to me before, about the church that you attend and so on and so forth. And you said, oh, and it's a wonderful preacher we have there, and he's got a beautiful family with kids and so forth. And then Bill called me Wednesday and said, or Tuesday, and said, well, the kids would love to come up and see the studio and stuff. So I said, absolutely. Which, incidentally, folks, if you'd ever like to come in when we're doing the show, just give me a call.
I mean, this is just like David Letterman, right?
Huh?
His studio?
Yeah, but he gets paid.
Oh.
That's a whole different ballgame.
We don't get in trouble like that.
Incidentally, if you were watching the show before us, you'd see that Mr. Mergens called in to the live show from the
From the studio.
from the studio to say to win the golf balls.
Yeah, man. We're ready to play now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all set.
I won't
told
be
him.
there Saturday night because I'm playing golf.
Told him that's his pay for the week.
Is that it?
Oh,
He gets
yeah.
paid. What do I get?
Well, you have to win something on another show.
Oh.
You have to hang around long enough to win something.
I get the phone next time.
Yeah, you get the phone next time.
All right, y'all know that Bill Trier, and I'll tell you, I have gotten so many wonderful, wonderful comments about the presentations that you've done on the president's cars and the old gas stations and the evolution of the gas station and stuff, all the different series that you've done. And I've gotten a lot of good response. They love it. Everybody loved. You were one of the ones that commented about Bill's thing last week with Hemmings,
Yeah,
the
the film,
photographer.
yeah,
A lot of
photographer.
good information. That was a good educational show.
I had a lot of good feedback with that.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good comments. So anyway, you've been at it again, and now you've done accessories. Some of them very
Some of the-
common, but where did they start?
Some of
and
the
all that
strange
kind of
ones,
stuff,
some of the unusual ones, some we may have forgotten, but they're there.
Right.
Right.
And then we've been talking about moving on to cars that were designed but never actually hit the production line.
And there's some beauties. I'll tell you, that'll be a special show for the rod and custom guys
Yeah.
because they're going to just drool when they see
Oh
this.
yeah, and
you
these
know.
are one-of-a-kind prototypes.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
That never made it to the production line. So wherever those cars are now, they've got to be worth a fortune. For one, they've got to be very hard to get, and that will make for another interesting show.
We'll do it.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to roll the clip. I'm going to have Bill take over. There you go.
The driving lights in that car were brought out about late 1920s, and they turned with the front wheels, which was the first they ever came out with those.
And
you
that was
went
in
around
the
the corner, the
20s.
lights went with you.
Wow.
That's on a 34 Packard. There is an ashtray that's vacuum operated, the one little thing in the right-hand corner, and it sucked the ashes right off of your cigarette, went out through the engine compartment, and the fan blew the smoke out the window of the car. This is back in the
I thought it was a
1930s.
blood pressure kit or something. You
No.
gotta check your blood
That's
pressure.
the way they
when you're
cleaned
driving.
the air for people that smoked in the cars so the other people could breathe. There's the famous Nash in the 1940s and 50s that came out with the beds. Well, you didn't have to go to a motel at night. You just pulled over the side of the road, and your family put the seats down and you slept in the car. It came with beds right in it.
And they had like a hatchback of that too, didn't they?
Not on that one.
Not on that one?
No. The sun visor, that was popular in the 1940s and the 50s because that hot sun, when it came in one of those windows on those old cars, you got baked. You weren't sitting back as far from the windows. So that was another very unusual accessory.
And that's a local car.
Right. That's a turn knob that was mounted on the steering wheel of the car for cars that didn't have power steering. So it was a lot easier to steer it and turn it, and it was also very pretty to look at.
The suicide knob.
And weren't they outlawed for a
Isn't
while?
that what they were called?
I think they did outlaw them eventually because people's cuffs used to get caught in them.
Yeah.
There's the sun visors, or not sun visors, wind wings that they used on the old touring cars in the 1920s. It kept a lot of the dust, dirt, sand, and water from coming all over you. And they were also decorative. You notice how those are etched. Some were cut glass.
I think I recognize that.
There's a running board luggage carrier. Anything that you couldn't get in the car, didn't want in the car, you can put on a running board. Fish pole, umbrella, suitcase, your
Boomerang.
mother-in-law, whoever. You know,
Boomerang.
yeah.
Looked like something from Australia.
Flower vases were popular in the cars back in the 1920s, especially the closed cars. Not for being pretty, they were the deodorizers. The fragrance of the flowers took away that old musty smell that those old cars had.
Yeah.
And that's mainly what they used them for.
Yeah.
Those old wool
Deodorizers.
seats that they used to
Yeah,
have.
the old wool seats.
If your car didn't come with an ashtray, you went down to your Western Auto store and you screwed one out of your glove box. There's where the ashtray was, if you didn't have one in your car. And that had a
That's-
little door on it.
That's a new thing now. Cars don't come with ashtrays
No,
anymore.
what was
Any of
that?
them. That's the
What
old
was what?
coontail.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Actually, it looks a lot like my ponytail that they cut off.
can you
that
imagine
time.
the animal activists today?
I
if
know.
you're trying
Yes.
to sell those?
Oh my goodness.
I was there that night.
With the night they cut my ponytail.
Yes, indeedy. That
it's
was quite a-
It's in a shallow grave in Braden. No, it actually went to Locks of Love.
These were fender finders. They went mounted straight up on your fenders, and on the old cars, you occasionally were rubbing against garage doors or car beside you, your garbage can, so you could see where your fenders were. You know, these accessories were around 1920 when Bill drove to high school with his first car.
Yeah.
No. You, Bill.
There's a gas lamp that you use for lighting up the instruments on your car. It's a gas-generated lamp. Same thing as a bicycle used and the miners used. All the same lamps, different brackets.
Very cool.
Now that was an exhaust whistle, and that was popular back in the early teens. That exhaust whistle you could hear about 2 miles away, and it was mainly to get livestock off the roads because cattle roamed free back then. They didn't have a lot of them fenced in. So when you blew that, you got a clear road.
So it was an exhaust whistle to clear the cows.
Yeah, get the cows off the road. There's a wool lap robe, very popular back in the early days of motoring because in the open cars, even the closed cars, it was pretty cold in the back seat, so that was a nice warm way to cover up. So that was a motometer, came out in 1914. The cars used to boil over frequently. Well, this would tell you before the car was getting to the point of boiling all the water out. You watch the red go up in the tube, and you stop the car, put more water in, and then keep going. So that saved you a lot of problems.
So that was actually an on-the-hood ornament?
Yeah.
water
Now
gauge.
here's one. This was a swing-away steering wheel in a Thunderbird that moved over toward the middle of the seat for people that were, some people that were kind of large.
Yeah. I could see where that might
Yeah,
help somebody who's large.
Oh, I hear the two of you over there, you know.
Well, did you glance around with T-Bird?
I don't know.
That's
Now
why.
this, you know how cell phones today, they say are a distraction or causing accidents? Picture this in the 1950s and it was legal. Drove down the road with one hand and you've changed records in your record player with your other hand under the dashboard. I wonder how many accidents that caused. Now this one, this was an inflatable driver. When you stopped, parked your car back in the 20s, you took your tire pump, blew this thing up, stuck it behind the steering wheel, and it was to keep the thieves from stealing your car. I can't imagine a thief dumb enough to think that was really real, but
Dwayne
you paid
Rivard needs one of
$15.
those.
Yeah, Dwayne